Hi folks, in this video we'll be covering the VWAP indicator or the volume weighted average price. All the indicators that we have spoken about like the RSI, the MACD, the moving average, these are all based on the price component. Whereas when we talk about technical analysis or when we talk about price action, it has two basic and two most important components, the price and the associated volume. So VWAP is one such indicator which also incorporates the volume along with the price information, which means if we have a significant change in the volume, that gets covered and incorporated in the VWAP indicator, thereby making it a little more reliable as compared to your moving average, because moving averages are only based on the price. Now VWAP typically is used widely for intraday trading when compared to positional trading. So we'll keep the focus to intraday trading alone, and the examples that we'll be seeing would be on a shorter time frame chart. So as you are able to see on my screen, VWAP stands for the volume weighted average price and incorporates the trading volume in the calculation of the average price. It is best used for intraday trading and it provides us with three meaningful insights. The trend of the price action, which means if your VWAP is flat, it means the markets are consolidating. If the VWAP is increasing or decreasing, it means that the price, and if your VWAP indicator is in the uptrend or in the downtrend, it signifies that the price action is trending. Second, VWAP helps us identify our entry and exit points, which means if my price is closing above the VWAP level on a shorter time frame, it means I can take a long entry in the stock, and if my price is coming down and breaching the VWAP level, I may want to take a short entry in that particular stock. And finally, VWAP also helps me trail my stop loss, which means if I have taken an entry, I can keep my VWAP as the stop loss and keep on riding the trend till my stop losses are hit. Don't worry, these all sound very fancy, but these are very simple to understand, and I will help you understand these concepts by using a few examples. So as you can see on my screen, I have the chart of Kotak Mahindra Bank on a 15-minute time frame, wherein I have plotted the VWAP indicator as reflected by this blue line. Now if you notice, the indicator is broadly flat here, which means the markets are in a consolidation phase, and when the price closes above the VWAP level and breaches the VWAP level decisively, this is where I may want to take a long entry, and I can use my VWAP to trail my stop losses, which means I will be riding this entry till this point where my stop losses get breached. If you focus on the word decisive, when I say decisive, I mean that this candle should be significant. That is a long body green candle, as we can see. If it was a candle with a long wick, I will not consider it to be very significant, and I will wait for the subsequent candle formations to decide whether I would want to take a long entry or not. For candles, you can watch out our videos where we have covered all the various significant candle types and its interpretation. Let's take another example of Reliance Industries on a 5-minute time frame. If you notice, the VWAP indicator is broadly flat here, which means that the stock is in a consolidation mode, and when the price breaches the VWAP level, it is breached with a huge long body green candle, which is a decisive breach, and hence I might want to take my entry somewhere around this point, and I might want to continue riding this trend by keeping the VWAP as my stop loss. And this is where my stop loss gets triggered, the market enters into a consolidation phase, and then it starts coming down. So this is how VWAP can be a sole indicator for intraday trading, and if you are able to identify such kind of candles which are decisively breaching the VWAP level on the upper side or on the lower side, they can act as very good entry points for you, and you might want to keep your VWAP level as your stop loss. Now let's talk about a slight variation to the VWAP, which is known as an anchored VWAP. wherein you define your starting point from where the VWAP should be calculated. So, as you can see, the anchored VWAP or the anchored volume weighted average price is a variation to the classical VWAP that we have covered, and it allows the trader to specify or to anchor the starting point from where the VWAP calculation should start. And typically, the anchored VWAP is helpful whenever you have a significant event on the stock price. For example, if I have a quarterly result that is coming today for a given stock and I expect some price action happening once the results are out, I may want to then anchor my VWAP calculation starting that point when the results were out, so that the result noise does not manipulate my VWAP calculation. That is where anchored VWAP will come into picture, and it will prove in more handy than the classical VWAP. So now let's log into tv.dhan.co and try to plot the VWAP graph on some candlestick charts. So let me take the chart for ICICI Bank to begin with, because this was one stock which has recently outperformed the broader index. And let's take this chart on a 10-minute time frame. Let me delete all the existing indicators and let me simply click on the indicator. Let me delete all the indicators and let me go to the indicators option and search for VWAP. So when I look at the VWAP here, I can see that this zone is a zone of consolidation where the prices were broadly consolidating and the VWAP is flat. And this is where the price decisively breached the VWAP on the downside with a huge red body candle, and this is where I could have taken my short entry with my VWAP as the stop loss. So from 880 or 875 odd levels, I could have played on for a gain of 15 to 20 points, and still the price is below the VWAP. If I look for a buy opportunity in this stock, somewhere around this point after a flat VWAP, I got a buy opportunity here with a huge green body candle. So this is where I could have taken a long entry at around 860 levels, and I could have trailed my stop losses until 875 levels. So this is how a very simple indicator like VWAP can come into the rescue for intraday traders and can help them identify great momentum opportunities. Now let's look at the anchored VWAP as well. So I'll delete this indicator, go to the indicators tab and search for anchored VWAP. So when I plot in the anchored VWAP and if I go to my settings, it will give me an option where I would want the starting point to be. So let's say I want the starting point for this particular chart to be 16th of August. So I'll select the year as 2022, month as October, that's 8, day as let's say 16th of August, and the starting point is the first candle for that day, that is 9:15 AM. So once I do OK, that's when the line occurs. And if you see, I had a flat VWAP here, and then this flat VWAP was breached, and the upper shadows told me that the stock is not willing to close above the VWAP level. So somewhere around this level, 879, 880, I could have taken a short entry and I could have played for almost 15 odd points. So the only difference being the anchored VWAP helps you define where is the starting point from which the VWAP calculations can be considered. And this is more useful during significant events like earnings release or board meetings. So folks, I hope that this concept of VWAP, that is the volume weighted average price, and the anchored VWAP is now clear, and you can straight away start practicing this on a paper trading on smaller time frame charts for intraday entry and exit points. Stay tuned and watch out for more videos where we cover a few more prominent indicators which one can use for making better and informed trading and investing decisions. Thank you and good luck.